in Kimberley. What was the place called where Reginald was? Van der Whoop or something.
Something like, yes.
Yes, that's where the Premier was supposed to be.
I wrote it down. Van der Kloof in the Northern Cape.
Van der Kloof. So, yes, we believe he has been there.
All right, the map is gone. All right, well, I was having a look at the map just a bit earlier to see how the voting stations are looking, but I can tell you what, there was just a full screen of green at the moment. So there's still obviously a couple of those stations that need to report whether or not they are open or not. But remember that the communication is also one of the issues in those more remote areas. It is very difficult to try and get those messages through. But we'll keep an eye and see, as hopefully a screen of green will appear very
Indeed,
soon.
but some red dots are on the screen at the moment on that map, showing that some voting stations have not yet opened. But let's cross now to Ofentse Setimo. We crossed to him bright and early this morning. Well, we believe he's now moved from Mabopane. He's now in Midrand. Let's find out exactly where he is and what's happening there. Good morning once again, Ofentse.
Morning, Sakina. Yes, we have moved from Mabopane. We are now in Midrand, where a high-profile voter, if I may put it that way, Mosiuoa Lekota, is expected to come and actually cast his vote here. He's actually here, and unlike a lot of VIPs who would actually skip the queue and go to the front and cast their ballot, he actually decided to come and join the people who are here in the queues so that he can get a full experience of what goes through when people come to cast their vote. I'm just going to speak to him now. Yes. Thank you so much for your time, sir.
Yes.
We are in an unprecedented time when we're casting our votes during a pandemic.
Yeah.
What are your prospects for this year's local government elections, especially under the challenges that were there during the campaign period?
Well, look, we are quite optimistic, but I must say that we are at the moment we are very sore because, the day before yesterday, we were holding our closing rally in Chiawelo, supporting this lady because she's our mayoral candidate for Johannesburg. The police suddenly came there to tell us that our meeting is illegal because campaigning has closed down and so on. I even wondered whether because the president was born in Chiawelo and grew up there, whether he might not have been mobilizing his community to make sure that we don't have our meeting. Now, when things like that happen, it makes it extremely difficult for people to believe that this is a free and fair election. We went to report the case, and the police station in Chiawelo, where the police had come from, did take our statements ultimately, but we still don't have the case number. And whether, in fact, the matter will be heard, we don't know. The IEC, as far as I'm aware, the IEC has not even issued a statement with regard to this matter. But we will pursue these matters. And it does not matter, really, in our view, whether the media does not report on these matters, whether we are not allowed to do that. The people on the ground, they have now lived through the experience of being governed by the African National Congress. They have seen for themselves, they have felt for themselves. They see on the TVs, communities are living with sewage. They have no self-respect. And there is no government that can be happy when the people that have voted for it are living with sewage, the schools are in sewage, the water, many communities have no water and all of that.
If I may just interject, sorry about that, sir. I heard you say that, your gathering yesterday was actually disrupted by the law enforcement agencies. So would you say that the elections would be free and fair if maybe your gathering was disrupted while other parties' gatherings went on freely?
Well, our view is certainly Ours was not. And not only were we in Chiawelo on the day before yesterday and stopped there. Yesterday, the president was still campaigning. No police went to tell him he's not supposed to be campaigning. Now, why the IEC has not said a word about what happened to us in Chiawelo, I cannot explain. But they must explain to us why a closing rally of the Congress of the People was disrupted as it was the day before yesterday. And yes, yesterday the president was still allowed to continue campaigning, and others in other areas.
Thank you so much, sir. Yes. Well, as you heard, that's COPE leader Mr. Mosiuoa Lekota actually saying that their closing ceremony for actually campaigning was disrupted a day before yesterday, but the president was allowed in order to campaign yesterday. And he says, it's a bit unfair that theirs was actually disrupted. And with that, it's back to studio.
Well, thank you so much, Ofentse Setimo, and moving around and, of course, capturing all of the action today for you as best we can, as far and wide as we can, reaching possibly into the farthest nooks and crannies of this country. That's what SABC News is all about. 24-hour coverage as SA decides 2021, hashtag LGE 2021. Please get in touch with us. Let's take a break and